Kentucky Senator Rand Paul. Senator, I'm going to get to the thrust of my angle in just a moment with you. But first, I need to get your reaction to this reporting late today from the New York Times. The drone strike that we were told took out an ISIS facilitator in Afghanistan actually killed a U.S.-affiliated aid worker and 9 others, including much of his family, 7 children. The car that the Pentagon and the White House told us was filled with explosives that allegedly caused secondary explosions. It was actually filled with water jugs, according to the New York Times investigation. Fox has not independently confirmed this, but there were numerous eyewitnesses on site that night who did. Senator, your reaction?
You know, if true, it's another sad instance of just the most incompetent withdrawal we've ever seen in our history. But yeah, we'll await the facts as they come forward. But yes, I'm not surprised that we saw a bombing that was done to show that, oh, we aren't as feckless as it looked like we were in the withdrawal. And in the end, that they may have made a mistake in it. That'll be, one more disastrous fact after another. So I hope it's not true. But if it is true, that's, devastating. And they ought to tell the truth about it if it is.
Yeah, and much easier always to tell the truth initially. But I think it is worth it for Americans to listen back to the Pentagon's initial comments about what went down. The White House and the Pentagon, all of it. This was just 2 weeks back.
This self-defense strike successfully hit the target near Kabul airport. Significant secondary explosions from the targeted vehicle indicated the presence of a substantial amount of explosive material.
I will note that in the CENTCOM statement that they put out yesterday, last night, I should say, what they noted is that there was also the explosion. There were explosives in this vehicle that could have led to additional damage.
Now, these are the same, intel reports being fed to these White House staffers and the Pentagon that are also feeding information about a potential domestic terror threat next week at a rally that no one's ever heard of. Like, I don't trust any of these people at this point, Senator, which is terrifying on the 20th anniversary of 9/11.
You know, the one thing that we did know and we did have eyes on that we could have blown up were all of the helicopters we left, all of the planes we left, all of the Humvees, armored personnel. There were a lot of things that could have been blown up on the way out. Even if you hadn't predicted the Taliban was going to take over, certainly that equipment should have been destroyed on the way out. Instead, an isolated attack somewhere, which may or may not have killed its intended target. But this has been a long-standing problem with some of the drone attacks is they may even sometimes get their target, but if they get 10 or 15 innocent people in the same neighborhood as the target, it ends up creating antipathy that really may in the end be worse than the initial strike.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine the New York Times being as friendly as it is to the Biden administration on a Friday afternoon, reporting with such specificity a drone attack that in part hit its intended target. I don't think it hit any of its intended target, not with this strike at least. But I want to get back to my angle, Senator, because again, on the eve of 9/11, the disgraced former FBI official Andrew McCabe, he is focused on a different kind of terrorist.
The work of countering terrorism never stops. The upcoming rally on the 18th, or when a particular anniversary, a significant anniversary is upon us, like the anniversary of 9/11, any events that could be triggering or could cause extremists to maybe want to mark those events with acts of violence, you get focused on those.
Conflating 9/11 with some rally that at least none of the conservatives I know have ever heard of.
Yeah, I think most of what they've done is to construct an enemy that needs to be so important that we need a fence around the Capitol. And I think that's to redirect our view away from Portland and Seattle and Chicago. Look, even in Louisville, Kentucky, we have more deaths per capita than Chicago now. So they're taking us away from the great problems that we have across this country and try to redirect it towards something that was obviously a mistake to trespass in the Capitol, but wasn't some sort of civil war they're trying to make it out to be.
And Senator, another way I think they want to keep us cowed is through COVID and this push to mandate vaccinations, no matter what, no matter whether you're 12 years old or whether you've had COVID. There was an exchange involving Sanjay Gupta, and Anthony Fauci, which I know you're going to find of interest. Watch.
There was a study that came out of Israel about natural immunity, and basically the headline was that natural immunity provides a lot of protection, even better than the vaccines alone. Should they also get the vaccine?
I don't have a really firm answer for you on that. That is something that we need to sit down and discuss seriously, because you very appropriately pointed out it is an issue.
Okay, people have been asking him about this for a better part of a year. And they still don't have a firm answer on it? Senator Paul, what is going on here?
I have asked Fauci again and again and again. The evidence is that over 100 million Americans have had COVID. They have natural immunity. Instead, Fauci is out there all over the place saying he would have gone even farther than Biden on the mandates. Well, this is a disservice to every. Does Fauci not remember the hospital workers who risked their lives when there was no vaccine to take care of COVID patients? Thousands of hospital workers got COVID. 100 million Americans got COVID, and he just swipes them aside and says, submit to the state, you must be vaccinated, even though all of the science now says and points towards natural immunity being as good as the vaccine or better. So instead of giving us a new mandate yesterday, the one thing that President Biden could have done, which really needs to be done, is speed up the FDA application for a new vaccine to the new variants. Realize that the boosters that they're approving are boosters to the previous infection from a year ago, and they're not working very well. What we really need is the FDA to speed up the process. We need what Donald Trump did in his last year to get a brand new vaccine to the variant as soon as possible. We were overcoming COVID until the virus began to escape the vaccine. Now the virus is escaping the vaccine. We need a new vaccine.
Yeah, well, we have a lot of people immune from prior exposure, and they're immune broadly across, it looks like, multiple variants. Senator, thank you very much on this.